Welcome to this week's Dream Card judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name's Charlie Hanson from Onside Law and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company Assets. I'd now like today's judges to introduce themselves and using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name's Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
I'm Nigel Hicks. I've been a Supply League match official for the best part of 30 years and I'm an experienced football administrator.
Good morning, my name is Alain Gomard. I'm an ex-professional football player, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Hi, my name is Eric Mendonca. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, first as a player and then as a referee.
Hi, my name is Joe Thompson, ex-professional footballer and now your BBC radio presenter.
Hi, my name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and I'm now a senior county referee.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee. I'm currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Good morning. My name's Peter Giorgio and I'm a futsal and football referee.
Hi, my name is Matthew Ray. I've affiliated in multiple counties across England and have refereed from grassroots through to professional academies.
Hi, I'm Jenna Scalacci, retired professional footballer. I'm now a head coach in a Tottenham College programme.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is a calculated average of the 10 individual selections.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Matt.
Good morning.
So we have three players in shot, one with his back to us, so we can't really see, just looking in the general direction, although his head's slightly tilted up. We have two main players in the middle, both looking up. Both to me look like they're crouching, ready to jump up towards a ball, which is in the middle of them above. We've got four eyes to look at. And I would suggest that we have an assistant behind them. We can't see that he's got a flag, but I think he's on the sidelines, although I can't be sure. I'll draw some lines up first from the player in blue. Got two really good eyes from him. And then from the player in green, who looks like he's a bit sort of in motion towards the ball. I think Nigel's at the bottom. So to start, I'll come to you, Ari, first. You're at the top end, sort of in line with me and just further in the middle. What was your view on this? There you go, the blue cross.
Yes, thanks, Matt. Well, I felt that both players are about to challenge for this one. The ball is in between them, both looking up. And the difficulty of this is because the players are still on the floor. It's quite even drawing the high lines. I felt that the ball should be where I place my cross. I feel that the ball is still very high for them to challenge. That's why I think we have the big spread today.
Yeah, sure. No, thank you. So your blue cross next to you is Matthew. I should have added, please disagree with me if you're mad, that the ball is sort of in front of the both of them. So they're both coming in towards the ball. So Matthew, yours is the lime green cross. You're the third of us that's sort of above this calculated average in line with myself and Ari. What was your hang on this?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the ball is in front, and I think it looks a fairly even challenge to me. So it's somewhere in the middle of the two players. When I've looked at the eyes, particularly the blue player, I think he's looking quite steeply. I think he's looking more up than across, which has probably given me the height. But I've drawn 2 lines from the eyes, simply how you've done there. The green player again a little bit more steeply. I do think the ball's that bit further away because they haven't left the ground yet, and intersected those to place my cross.
Yeah, great, thank you. And I'll come down now in line with yours, Ari, towards the player in green, which gives me Liam, you're the light blue cross. What was your view?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, I worked on probably similar to everyone. You know, I agree that the ball is steep. There's a long way for it to drop. They're both sort of crouched, looking to jump and challenge head for the ball. As Matthew said, I went for the middle ground on it with them, and then just worked on the head and, looked at the head, eye lines and the whites of the eyes to, try and get that and to get that pitch. And yes, I did this. I agree with you that the gentleman in black at the back is definitely, for me, an assistant referee. And I discounted his eye line because he was looking at the players and not the ball.
Yeah,
that's me. That's me.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually quite an important thing to note, Liam. Thank you, because that's what the assistant would be doing. He'd be looking at anything going on between the players as opposed to the ball. And for the players of the competition, they ought to understand that as well. That's very valuable. Thank you very much. Kieran, you're the furthest to the right. You're purple cross there. You're sort of in line with my own choice in the steepness, but a bit lower. What was your view?
Yes, thanks, Matt. I'm more or less agreeing with the other judges here. I feel the player in green is just in front of the player in blue, the 2 players that are contesting the ball. I think he's coming across. But I based specifically on my position on the eyes of both players. I felt the player in blue, I think there's a lot of white to the left of both of his eyes. So I think he's looking to his left, our right, as we're looking. Whereas with the player in green, I felt particularly his right eye, the left one, as we're looking at it, it looks more central, and therefore I placed my cross on a slightly steeper sort of trajectory from the player in green rather than the player in blue, and that's why I think I'm a little bit to the right of the other judges.
Yeah, thanks. So that's gone through the 5 choices above this calculated average, and then I'll come to the lower ones. I'll come to you next, Jenny. You're in the middle of everybody's choice, the pink cross there. What was your view?
Like everyone said, I felt both players were at the beginning of their jump, so I felt the ball was far from them. The player in green, I felt he was leaning towards his right, whereas the player in blue, I felt he was looking a lot more steeper. That's where I've kind of got my arrow there. I didn't take anything from the referee in the background. I felt he was maybe looking at the players rather than the ball. But for me, both at the beginning of the jump, both going to challenge, and I've gone a bit steeper given the player in the sky blue shirt.
Yeah, great, thank you. And just next to you, a little bit further over, is Alain. So you're the yellow cross, Alain.
Yep.
Your opinion on this one?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. No, completely agree with Jenna. I think the player in green is, as she said, he's leaning forward, and I think he's going to jump, towards the ball. The player in blue is going to jump more vertically, if it makes sense, and on the spot. And when you look at his eyes, you can see lots of white. So I think he's looking very steeply, and I think the ball is, even though he's in the foreground, is a bit more towards the left of the picture.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, the green guy looks like he's slightly in motion, his arms up to sort of come into the picture. And as you said, there's more of a static jump from the player in blue. So that's great. Peter, you're again just there, dark pink cross, just below this calculated average. Did you see it the same way?
Not much more to add. I agree that the ball's in between the 2 players, equal distance, I feel, and I agree with Jenna and Kieran that the player in green is coming in or leaning in to his right. But I've basically taken the eye lines and the heights I've taken also from their body language, especially the player in green is not biting his tongue, but he's sort of focusing that there's time for that ball to travel down or across or wherever. So I've used those two sets of eye lines. I did, as Jenny said there, about the referee and the assistant referee looking at the players. I literally put some lines in, and I thought, no, it's the player. They're just looking at the players. So my central ball is where I put it.
Thank you. And Joe, you're just below Peter's cross. Yours the orange cross. What were your thoughts on this?
Hi, Matt. Yeah, I looked at it from the perspective of, we can see the four eyes. I didn't take too much from the assistant, like the majority of us guys have mentioned. But I just felt like the body language of the player in green, he looks, like Kieran said, slightly in front, maybe a bit more proactive and coming across, possibly to chest it. And then the urgency from the player in blue with the raised eyebrows and the forehead tends to think that he's almost struggling. So I've just come slightly lower with the sense of green looks like he's in a bit more control, and whether he's going to head it or chest it is there to be seen, obviously.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. And lastly, Nigel, you're the closest to the blue player and ever so slightly lower than us all. What was your view on this?
Not very dissimilar, very similar to Joe's. I felt that I took into account the tension in the face of the player in blue. I thought the ball was inbound and dropping towards him. I felt the green was in motion and coming across, attempting to meet that ball. And obviously the blue player's looking up very steeply. I didn't see the eyes of the green player looking quite as steeply as some of my colleagues. I felt that he's looking more forward, like towards us, than laterally up. Just took into account from that way. I mean, I was mindful of the assistant referee in the background, but as everybody else says, I think his eyes are towards the players as the ball's dropping.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, all. Okay, so as it was alluded to at the very beginning, we've got a slightly bigger spread today. And if I put the calculated, magnify big upon over the calculated average, we've got 3 or 4 sort of outside, with Kieran's fully outside, as well as Nigel's, which is quite a lot lower than the rest of our choices. So at the beginning, I'm going to remove Nigel's, and you'll see it brings it up into the middle with effectively 4 of us just outside the scope, which I would suggest balances each other. Kieran and Alain right to left, myself and Joe top to bottom. And as you see, it goes into the midst. And if I draw a couple of new lines, one up from this player in red, it encapsulates, we've got sort of 4 choices below, 5 above, although I could argue that Matthews is sort of in the middle of this. And again, from this player in the middle, if we draw up these lines through this new calculated average, again, we've got a split with myself in the middle and 4 above and below. And from the player in green, again, up, as I said before, with Matthews 40 in the middle and then 4 up, 4 below. So I think that's a good choice. Obviously, we can have another debate about whether it should be argued that Nigel should be back in because he's completely outside, as also as Kieran's is, and then to remove Kieran. But if we do remove Kieran, as you see, we've got basically myself just outside, but wholly outside, and also Nigel's below. And I think with just Nigel's removed, I think we get this even split. So as lead judge, I will remove Nigel. But again, if I can come through to you all for you to add to your thoughts, that will be wonderful. So I will ask you, Nigel, what you think of this. Obviously, I've removed you. And because you were sort of lower than everybody else's, but I'd love your thoughts on this new calculated average here and split of the judges.
I would actually leave Kieran in. I think that the remaining 9, thank you. Yeah, I think the remaining 9 give that a good spread. I feel that Kieran's balances out. Alain's on the other side there as well, and I feel the ball's in a credible position to the cross there.
Yeah, it's interesting to note there is this top and bottom where, taking someone out also on the trajectory of the other 4 judges above, and the same with the blue player up from Alain's is important to note. It's how we're looking at the 2 players and how the ball is crossing, and in fact it's in the foreground. It is also something to discuss. So Alain, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I think all the crosses balance each other. You got two on the left, 2 on the right, 2 at the bottom, and 2 plus yours at the top. I think it works really well.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Ari?
Me too. For me, it works really well. I'm quite happy with this one.
Great, lovely. Joe?
Yeah, all happy with that.
Great, thank you. Kieran?
Yes, Matt, I agree with your analysis. I think that's right.
Great, thank you. Liam?
Yeah, spot on.
Great. Peter?
Yeah, well balanced with Nigel's taking out.
Yeah, thank you. Matthew?
Yeah, it's a good average given the spread, so happy with that.
Great. And Jenna?
Yeah, I think it's a really good balance there.
Yeah. Thanks very much, everyone. As everyone said, with the spread we've got, I think it is a good balance between us all. So thank you, everybody. So Charlie, we decided to judge at this calculated average with myself removing Nigel's and to leave the remaining 9 choices on the board.
Thanks, Matt. So yeah, if you're all happy, please just click submit. Thank you, judges. So the coordinates selected are x1948, y873. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company assets to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.